When getting into sports betting, it's easy to get overwhelmed and make costly mistakes in the process. As you're in those early stages, I know for myself I was definitely guilty of this and made a lot of just terrible decisions along the road. So what I wanted to do is revisit a topic looking at beginner sports betting mistakes and give you some perspective that I have now after several years of doing this seriously, okay? I've looked at other concepts like this in the past, talking about building a profitable sports betting model, building profitable unique strategies, and what kind of mindset you should have when starting. But this video is going to be more focused on what are some common misconceptions and mistakes that a lot of new bettors make when looking to place their first bets and wagers. Now, before we jump into this, check out underdogchance.com where I help bettors start betting with data-driven betting models and projections. I teach Google spreadsheets models. You can get into our Discord group. You get blog posts, even some of my picks, my personal daily analysis. And subscribe to email to learn my way of betting, my way of thinking. And I believe it's a great place to go if you're looking to get serious about this and move beyond just random picks that you find on social media or on YouTube or whenever, okay? So, now for the first one, we have unrealistic expectations about returns. When you're first getting into betting, you're coming into a world that requires discipline and realistic expectations. But most people don't approach it that way. You hear about some hitting 10-team parlay or see these massive payouts on social media and you think, okay, I can expect to make these huge returns regularly as well. And I always say, compare that to stock market's historical average of about 10% and you realize that those who are very disciplined in stock market have the best teams and analytical tools, best advisors, are happy with 10 or 20% annual returns in the stock market. While in betting, many think they will make 10 times without any effort, just blindly following random picks on social media. Okay, something doesn't add up here, right? And most people come in thinking they're going to double their money every week, every month. But even the sharpest bettors in the world have losing streaks that can last for days or weeks. And I found most people don't understand what could be deemed as acceptable when it comes to win rates either. So if you're betting, for example, point spreads at standard minus 110 odds or 1.9 to 1, you need to win about 52.4% just to break even after a week. And a really good bettor might hit 55, 57% long term, but I see people expecting to win 70 or 80% of their bets, which is just completely unrealistic for any sustained period. Keep all of this into context and have the right expectations from the beginning. It's possible, but with realistic expectations. The second major mistake is focusing way more on what other people are doing rather than developing your own skills. This is huge in the betting world because there's so much noise out there. You've got Twitter thoughts, Facebook groups, Instagram handicappers, YouTube bettors personalities, all claiming they have the secret. New bettors get caught up following all these different people instead of learning the fundamentals themselves. And what happens is you end up just tailing picks without understanding why those bets were made in the first place. You don't develop any feel for line movement, you don't understand basic concepts like expected value, closing line value, betting models, and you certainly don't learn how to handicap games yourself. When those picks go cold, and they always do, you're left with nothing because you never built your own foundation. And what I see constantly is people getting stuck in this cycle for years. They'll be subscribed to 6 different pick services and trying to follow all of them. They think they will get rich. Not only it is expensive, but when those services disagree with each other, they have no framework for making their own decisions. The same is if you follow different people, right? And I watch people do this for literally years, bouncing from one thought to another, never developing their own skill. They might have a good month following someone, then when it goes bad, they jump to the next service and the cycle repeats. And it's only when people finally stop following blindly other picks and start doing their own research that they begin to see any real progress. but most never make that transition. The third mistake is thinking you must bet the sports you love. And this is huge mistake because it goes against what feels natural, okay? You love football or NFL, you watch every game, you know all the players, so naturally you should bet football, right? But this is wrong. The goal here isn't entertainment or watching games, it's a profit. Money is green everywhere, and the sports you're most passionate about might actually be the worst ones the worst ones for you to bet. And also there is emotional attachment to clothes your judgment. You might overvalue your teams or have biases based on narratives you've heard all season. Plus, the sport you follow closely are probably the same ones everyone else is betting, which means the lines are sharper and harder to beat. And sometimes the best opportunities are in sports or the markets where you barely watch, but where you can find inefficiencies in the market. Watch what you love, bet what you can win. Number 4 is betting impulsively. This is probably the fastest way to go broke as a bettor. Whenever you start to develop any new passion, it's very easy to get caught up in just spending money all at once, and you feel like you have to develop this expertise and keep going and have all this experience in a very short period of time. And excitement can create impulsiveness when it comes to betting, and this could be a really difficult thing to overcome as time goes on. A couple of things that happen, your knowledge level is probably not where it should be to be able to make these decisions in a proper way, and you end up just making bets based on whatever looks good in the moment. You don't sleep on decisions, you just go ahead and bet anything that catches your eye. And this creates confusion around your betting journey, and you start second guessing everything. And this is something you don't want. And I always tell people to have pro process. Do your research, check multiple sports books for the best line, consider your bankroll management, and never bet more than you can afford to lose, and only small percentage of your total bankroll on a single game. Understanding that your approach will evolve and also just exercising patience is how you build a great long-term strategy. Knowing that your taste and understanding will change over time, refinement in a great betting approach only comes after you exercise patience. And this is something to remember, okay? The fifth mistake is having a limited understanding of betting fundamentals. Most beginners think betting is about picking winners, but it's really about finding value and understanding the price. You could pick winners 60% of the time and still lose money if you're consistently betting bad price or bad number, okay? Understanding concepts like implied probability, line shopping, and bet sizing is way more important than just knowing which team is better. For example, if you think a team has a 60% of chance to win, but the line implies they only have 55% of chance, that's a value bet, even if they lose, so you would make a good bet. And too many new bettors get caught up in the result-oriented thinking instead of focusing on process and expected value over long term. You really want to know what the fundamentals are, and some recommendations I would have is look at your past bets, think about what worked and what didn't, understand the difference between good process and good results, because they are not always the same thing, okay? Use this information to get data points, figure out what you like and don't just go crazy and make a ton of mistakes by betting something that maybe isn't really meant for your skill set, okay? Finally, the biggest mistake is having a gambling mentality instead of treating this seriously. No, I'm well aware of the recreational nature of a lot of people approaching betting with, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I like to say, just be honest with yourself about what you're actually trying to accomplish here. If you watch my video, you're not doing this recreationally, right? And you need to have a long-term plan, proper bankroll management, detailed record keeping, and the discipline to stick to your strategy even during losing streaks. Most people want the rewards without doing any of the actual work required to be successful, and this is not going to happen without work. They treat it like buying lottery tickets instead of building a skill that takes years of develop. And at the end of the day, you have to be realistic about what you want, and you cannot get really caught up in this idea that there is some secret system that's like a rite of passage to become profitable. Okay, you really don't need to think about this any further than, hey, I'm willing to put in serious effort, or I'm just here for entertainment. And if you do this for entertainment, the beauty of it is that you make your own bets without following or watching any videos, right? So there's no middle ground that's going to magically make you profitable, and that's really what it's all about. Okay, so those are 6 major mistakes that I think new sports bettors make, and I wanted to call attention to them so you can avoid them, because I certainly have been guilty of several of this in the past. And if you found this helpful, there's much more content like this at underdogchance.com, where we dive deep into the mathematical and strategic side of profitable betting. Remember, this is not about get rich quick. It's about developing your own unique skills that can give you a sustainable edge over time. Okay, and if you like this video, please like it, subscribe, and see you next time. Thank you.